Once again, welcome to week 3, building your digital marketing toolbox is our topic this week. Once again, it is with our lovely Miss Kim Schott from Schott Consulting. I'm going to let her do her introduction of herself as we do the transition here in just a minute. And as I always do with all of my presentations, I start them off with a poll. So, what kinds of social media does your center do use in your marketing? So when you're marketing your center, which of the ones on the screen do you use? Click all that apply. And I know there's more, but these are the big ones. These are the ways that social media matters. You can make an argument that you can put website into this too, because that's a kind of a social media also. But we know everybody has a website, and not everybody uses Twitter, Instagram, and the others. And I had to tell you while you guys are voting here, I was in a very large event on Sunday night called Harvest America, and it had almost 100,000 people at it, and it was unending on how they were using social media to grow the exposure of their event. And you can do that same thing on a much smaller scale in your bowling centers. And it was really cool. He said, "Hey, take a picture of yourself and tweet yourself with the blimp behind you." So I did, and I actually had people tell me, "It's like, look at you tweeting! I can't believe you actually tweeted. You never tweet." Well, because they asked me to. I could win something, so I did. And it's not something I actually do. So things like that can help you grow your business and do different things different ways. Pretty cool responses here. I wasn't expecting these responses. I really thought I'd see something different here. We got 91% using Facebook. More people using Facebook than using email campaigns, Kim. I think that you can help them with that. You got Twitter, Instagram, and then all the others. Very interesting results there. And while that's doing, I'm going to do this to Kim. It's got to close this. We just got things we got to do to make us switch. Pardon the blank screen just for a moment as we switch and give Kim control of the presentation so she can, looks like it's coming up. There it is. All righty. Well, as I said, this is Miss Kim Schott. She is I'm going to call her our industry expert when it comes to email marketing and social media. She's been with us now for a little over a year. She's done more than that, about 2 years now, between state associations, trade shows, and Bowling Summit, and now these webinars. She has spent a lot of time with us in the bowling world and gets to know our business. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kim Schott.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly, for that introduction. And Kelly, if someone has a question, if they'd like to share their insight, where would they post that question at for this webinar?
Oh, Kim, thanks for not trying to throw me under a bus, but I'm going to jump in front of the bus. I was supposed to say that. If anybody has a question, they need to put into the questions box in their little taskbar there for the of the go-to meeting thing. I'm stumbling on my own words today. So if you put it in the chat, we don't see it, we don't know it's necessarily there, and we can't track it later. So we need to see those questions in the questions box, like those of you who were here last week did very, very well. We hope you do that too. But I also have a little thing in my pop-up on my screen, Kim, if I can address that. I'm going to ask you guys, if you could raise your hand, there's a little hand button there. If you could raise your hand and tell me whether you can hear me. Because I've actually had somebody say they can't hear it. Oh, there we go. That's good enough. At least one person can hear me. So there's our answer. Everybody, we do have audio. If you can't hear us, well, then you can't hear me telling you to do anything else. So we'll type in a response to your question there. So Kim, thank you for not throwing me under the bus, but I'll give it right back to you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Well, everyone, welcome to today's webinar about building your digital marketing toolkit. It's important to share messages, not just in email, but also on social media as well. And we have found that the best way to monetize those messages is to share your information using email marketing first, because email marketing and social media play well together. It's email marketing software such as MailChimp or Constant Contact. Another software company would be called Aweber or Vertical Response. All of these email marketing software companies offer a feature that allows you to plug their software into your social media pages. And once you use their software on your social media pages, you can start collecting personal information from your Facebook fans or your LinkedIn followers or the folks that have been following you on Twitter. And the type of information you want to be collecting, well, you want to be collecting their first name, but you should also be collecting their email address as well, so that you can follow up with these fans and these followers with the information that you want to share with them. And what exactly is the type of information that you want to be sharing? Well, that's really the basis of today's agenda. We're going to talk about what marketing used to look like then and what it is now. I want to talk to you about what engagement marketing actually is, so that you can know the difference between broadcast marketing, which uses television, radio, and newspaper ads, and engagement marketing, which uses social media, email marketing, and text message marketing. We're going to talk about digital campaigns that drive action, and what's the type of action that you want? Well, you either want an increase in customers or an increase in sales. And then finally, we'll talk about things you need to know in order to move forward. So let's talk about what marketing was and what it is now. You see, when newspaper editors and newspaper publishers designed communication so that your community would be better educated in what it is you had to offer, so that the community would be better educated in what it is that you were selling or trying to engage them into joining. Newspaper editors and newspaper publishers designed a strategy, a communication strategy around the only communication tool that was available during that generation. And we still use newspaper now. But back then, when newspaper was our primary communication tool, newspaper editors and newspaper publishers decided that we needed to have 4 pieces of communication or 4 pieces of material cycling through our communication tool in order to capture the community's attention. And if we didn't have 4 pieces of communication or 4 pieces of material cycling through our newspaper, well, then we're going to lose the attention of our community. We're going to lose the attention of our customers. People are just going to be losing interest, or more importantly, we're just going to bore the socks off of them. So newspaper editors and publishers decided that a tool, a communication tool, is really only as good as the material you give it. If you don't give a communication tool good pieces of material to share with your community, people will start to lose interest. So newspaper editors and publishers decided that the first piece of communication, the first piece of material that any good communication tool needs is, of course, news or announcements. Think about the type of news and the type of announcements that your bowling center or family recreation center may want to share with the community. What's new? How many years have you been in business? What are your hours of operation? Are you looking to hire new people? What type of news and announcements do you have available to share with the community? Newspaper editors and publishers also realize that you need offers and promotions to also capture the attention of your audience. What type of offer, what type of incentive, what type of a promotion would capture the attention of your community? So much so that your current customers would want to share that offer that incentive, that promotion with their friends, family, and colleagues. And keep in mind, if you're trying to attract the generation that's within the 20 to 30 years of range, that generation is called the millennials. And the millennials do not like to be sold to, but they love being shared with. So the offers and promotions that you post out there for your bowling center or your family recreation center should be considering the type of customer's age and how they would potentially share that offer, incentive, or promotion with their friends or their family members. That's why you're noticing a lot of family recreation centers and bowling centers doing what we call BOGO promotions. BOGO is B-O-G-O, and that stands for buy one, get one. You'll see a lot of family recreation centers that say if you buy one beverage, you get one beverage free. Or if you buy one meal, you get one meal at 50% off. It's called BOGO. And you'll see BOGO on flyers. You'll see BOGO on billboard ads. But I want you to start paying attention to how your competitors are targeting that 20 to 30-year-old age range. They're using BOGO promotions because percentages off, those type of promotions are not attractive to that generation as much as BOGO is. So again, newspaper editors and publishers knew that you needed to have the right type of offer, the most irresistible type of promotion in order to attract the right type of customers. But they didn't want to stop just there. They also knew that feedback was equally as important. So newspaper editors and publishers determined that having a survey or a poll, similar to what Kelly had just done, gave people an opportunity to share their feedback and also gave the newspaper editors and publishers some interesting feedback on what the community felt was important. So a communication tool has to capture customers' feedback by using a survey or a poll question. And then finally, events and registrations. Your customers, your community, like to attend special gala events at your family recreation center or your bowling center. They want to have fundraisers at your centers. They also want to see what is going on behind the scenes. So having a special event, having a community activity, a community fundraiser, and allowing people to register through you gives them an opportunity to not only attend that event, but bring their friends, their families, and their colleagues who may have normally not visited your family recreation center or your bowling center. So newspaper editors and newspaper publishers always knew that 4 pieces of material, 4 pieces of communication need to be cycling through your communication tool every 30, 60, or 90 days in order to keep your customers and the community attracted to what it is that your bowling center or your family recreation center has to offer. Now, we talked a lot about newspapers because that was the #1 communication tool that many of us used in order to promote our businesses. But Facebook is a communication tool, and a communication tool is only as good as the material you give it. If you are not cycling through 4 different pieces of material or 4 different pieces of communication, as I outlined here, eventually your Facebook fans will lose interest in your Facebook page and visit a competitor's Facebook page. And you'll see that when you look at the Insights page on your Facebook business page. The Insights page contains the reporting for your bowling center's Facebook page. And if you look on the Insights page, you'll see at certain times people have just lost interest in your page and they moved on. But because we know that folks are interested in social media. They didn't just stop using Facebook. What normally happens is that a competitor's Facebook page captured their attention, so they moved on to someone else. So this is why we ask people, when you're considering a digital communication tool, you need to use good pieces of material on your email marketing or your social media marketing. Even in your text message marketing, you'll have to have news and announcements, offers and promotions, a feedback loop, and special events to keep the folks interested. And people want to be interested in what it is that you have to offer. But because of our limited attention span, you have to have 4 pieces of material cycling through. So let's talk a little bit more about what marketing is so that we know the difference between broadcast marketing and engagement marketing. At its core, what marketing is you defining an audience of either league bowlers, an audience of open bowlers, an audience of kids that want to spend their summer vacation at your bowling center. You get to decide who that audience is, but you need to define them. And then once you've defined who that audience is and where they live at in relation to your center, then you need to share a message with them. And that message is going to be one of those 4 pieces of material I just talked about. But when you share that message, it has to be relevant. It has to be irresistible and compelling. And then finally, the third piece of what marketing is you eliciting a physical and measurable response. And a physical or measurable response could be having your customers, through their email marketing or your social media marketing, click or download a menu or a schedule of hours of operation. Maybe you've asked them to come on in and visit you at your location. Perhaps you have some bowling lessons available, so you've asked your customers to schedule a session with you. Maybe you're offering a not-for-profit event or hosting a not-for-profit event at your center. And what you've done is you've asked your customers to consider donating. Or maybe you just ask them to give you a call to try to generate more business when it comes to either leagues or open bowling. Either way, every single one of these responses are measurable. And how are they measurable? Well, there's a couple ways that they're measurable. What we're looking for here is we can see through social media marketing and email marketing exactly what your audience clicked on. And so if we had 100 people click on your social media link that you posted on your Facebook page, or if we had 200 people clicking on a link that you have in your email marketing, you can then tell whether or not they actually downloaded your restaurant menu or your bar menu or your happy hour menu. You can start measuring that. Some of you on the line, you have reservation capability on your website. So when people click on the link, they can make a reservation for a particular lane or a restaurant reservation. You get to decide what that measurable response is. But it's important for you to measure something, because if you're not measuring the engagement with whatever it is that you're posting on social media, if you're not measuring what you're sending your customers using email marketing, then you'll never discover what is relevant, irresistible, or compelling to your customers. Let's talk about traditional marketing versus engagement marketing a little bit more. As I mentioned, traditional marketing is used to try to connect with complete strangers. Traditional marketing is your television ad, your newspaper ad, your radio ad, printing about 5,000 flyers and passing them around your community. You're trying to reach complete strangers, and as many as possible. You're trying to find them and then convert them into a paying customer, and you're hoping and praying that they keep coming back to you. Traditional marketing still works. And it works very well if you have the money to afford a television ad, a radio ad, a newspaper ad, or thousands of flyers. But I'd like to show you the difference between traditional marketing and engagement marketing, which is the other pyramid that you're looking at. With engagement marketing, since we flipped that funnel, what you're using engagement marketing for is to engage the friends of your loyal customers. Engagement marketing consists of email marketing, mobile marketing, and social media marketing. And with email marketing, mobile marketing, and social media marketing, you are sending relevant, irresistible, and compelling content to your current customers. And so you need to find first those loyal customers, the ones that have the highest trust relationship with you. You need to ask them what it is that they find valuable when it comes to announcements. You need to ask them what they consider relevant when it comes to offers and promotions. You need to ask these loyal customers, what would they consider a really engaging survey? And then finally, if you're considering having a not-for-profit event or a gala event at your center, you need to ask those loyal customers what type of event are they more interested in attending. So the reason why the funnel has been flipped, because with engagement marketing, you are not broadly reaching complete strangers here. You're finding loyal customers in your database that you can lean on to look at your 4 pieces of material, because after all, you are writing for your customers, your most loyal customers. You're not posting for you. You're not writing emails using email marketing for you. You are posting for your loyal customers, and you're sending emails to your most loyal customers. So you need to find out who they are, and if you're not sure who they are, ask your staff. Who is it that comes in week after week, month after month? Who is what you would consider someone that is a key influencer, a key decision maker in your community that just so happens to attend your bowling center or family recreation center, either with their friends or their entire family? Ask your staff who those key influencers are, and when you find them, you're going to ask them what type of information should they be reading about from your bowling center or your family recreation center so that they can convert their friends, their family, their sphere of influence, their colleagues to also want to attend your bowling center or family recreation center. And why is that opinion important? Because birds of a feather flock together. We tend to hang out with other adults that make the same buying decisions we do. We hang out with adults that make the same recreational choices that we do. We hang out with adults that root for the same college teams. Sometimes drive the same cars we drive, live in the same neighborhood that we live in. So when we ask our most loyal customers what they consider valuable, the second question you ask them is, would their friends, family, and colleagues also consider that type of information? That type of communication, you should be asking them if they would consider that type of material as equally as important for their friends, their family, and colleagues. And then finally, at the bottom of that pyramid on engagement marketing is the keep. Why do people keep your email marketing or your social media posts and flag them? Well, they're going to keep that information handy so that when they have a family recreational decision to make, when the adults, the key decision makers in a family or the key influencers within a group of friends, when they get to decide what they're going to do with their money on a Friday night, on a Tuesday night, on a Saturday night, or a Wednesday night, whatever night or whatever day of the week that is, when those key influencers get to make a decision, they're going to make a decision based upon the information you post on social media or the information you shared with them in email marketing. And why is it that they keep that information handy? A couple reasons. They're going to keep that information handy because your most loyal customers had such a high trust relationship with you Or they keep that information because there were so many good testimonials that people were reading about as it relates to the cleanliness of your facility, as it relates to the parking lot, as it relates to the customer service they received when they walked into your center. The reason why they keep that information is because they also want to have that same high level of customer satisfaction that your most loyal customers also experience. So again, traditional marketing is about reaching complete strangers. Engagement marketing is about engaging the friends of your loyal customers. If you do not know who your loyal customers are, then trying to engage their friends is going to be difficult, because that's what email, social media marketing, and mobile marketing is used for. It is used for engaging the friends of your loyal customers. And that takes some work on your part, because you're going to need to know who those loyal customers are. So let's talk a little bit more about how engagement marketing works. Word of mouth referrals has always been the #1 way to get new customers. But engagement marketing is really the new word of mouth, because instead of using words from your lips in order to send a referral, you're using basically choices and clicks and shares and comments with your fingertips. So engagement marketing are referrals using your fingertips. And how are your customers sending referrals with their fingertips? By every click of like, every comment they make with their fingertips, every share they click on, whether that's an email share or social media post share. That is how engagement marketing works as the new word of mouth. It's word of mouth, but it's using fingertips instead of our lips. And as I pointed out before, engagement marketing uses email marketing and social media marketing as its basis, but you're targeting your current customers. Small businesses that use social media marketing and email marketing will tell you that 90% of their business comes from current customers, because that's the way social media and email marketing was designed. Social media and email marketing was not designed to reach complete strangers. Email marketing and social media was designed to reach your current customers. So 90% of your business is going to come from current customers. 10% of your business, if you choose to use social media and email marketing, will come from new customers. But let me break that down a little bit more. Those 10% actually consist of word-of-mouth referrals and complete strangers. But those word-of-mouth referrals are not complete strangers. They're the friends of your current customers. So if we put that together a little bit differently, and if you take a look at that pie a little bit differently, if you see that email marketing and social media marketing was built to reach current customers and small business owners, and the data supports it that 90% of that business comes from current customers, then 9% of that business comes from word-of-mouth referrals, which are the friends of your current customers. And the reason why you're getting word-of-mouth referrals is because your bowling center or your family recreation center has had such a high level of a customer satisfaction that your current customers are willing to refer their friends, their family, and their colleagues to your facility. So in this case, we're going to focus on the 99%. We're going to focus in on your current customers, 90% of your current customers, and the 9% of the word-of-mouth referrals. So let's talk about how that gets done using digital campaigns. So let's talk about campaigns that drive results. As I mentioned before, newspaper editors and publishers developed the foundation of good communication. They said if you're going to use a communication tool, you need to have 4 pieces of material running through that newspaper in order to capture your customers and the community's attention. Well, when you're using digital marketing, such as email marketing and social media, we basically changed it to the 4 pillars of campaign success. The first piece of communication is going to be your newsletter or your announcement. The second piece is going to be your digital coupon, or also, many of you are familiar with Groupon or e-certificates. The third piece of information is going to come from the form of a digital survey or an online survey or an online poll that you could either have on your website, your email marketing, or your social media. And finally, the fourth piece of material is online events, online registrations. There's many different pieces of software companies that offer online registration tools, which we'll talk about in just a moment. The point here is that we need to focus on how that 99% is utilizing the current information. You see, when you define who your current audience is, are you trying to target open bowlers, or are you trying to target league bowlers? Are you trying to target parents of school kids who want to bowl during their time off? Who is it that you want to target? Many of you have restaurants in your centers. Are you trying to target adults who would enjoy a meal after work instead of going to a chain restaurant? Or are you trying to target people that are maybe enjoying a happy hour with their friends and their colleagues? Either way, with a digital campaign, you are pushing relevant content and your customers are clicking on something so that you can pull a measurable response. And you get to decide what it is that they click on. You could be having them click on a link to a video on bowling tips and tricks. You could have them clicking on a link to reserve a table at your restaurant that's located in the center. Either way, you get to decide the type of link they click on so you can pull that measurable response. So let's talk a little bit more about newsletters and announcements. In your situation, it's going to be more announcements than anything else. When you send an email announcement, you're going to focus on no more than 3 pictures in that email announcement. You're going to also make sure that you add your social share links, which allows people to share your newsletter or your digital announcement on their social media profile pages. You also need to remember to place your logo at the top of any email newsletter or email announcement that you send out and make that logo clickable to your website so that when people see your logo, they can click right to the website. And if you are including articles in your newsletter and announcement, such as how bowling helps keep you fit, or different tips on how to stretch before you decide to bowl. Whatever type of article you include in your newsletter or announcement, make sure the tease article is short. And what I mean by short is that it's no more than 45 words with a link to where they can read the longer article. And there are many articles online about stretching exercises and different ways that bowling and other recreational sports keep you fit. Some of my bowling centers will add articles to their newsletters about why bowling is important for keeping the family together. It's a multi-generational sport that your family can do together. Whatever it might be, decide for yourself how to put in the article or how much information to put in regarding your article, but it should be no more than 45 words. And of course, keep your key action items above the scroll line. In this example, the key action item in this particular announcement was for folks to give you a call. And that's the orange button on this newsletter and announcement piece. And what happened in this particular example here is that as people clicked on the button, which said give us a call, this particular company was using digital software so that when people clicked on the link using their smartphone or their mobile device, the mobile device immediately called the company. And I want to stop for a moment, and I want you to think about that, because right now, a larger percentage of adults are using their mobile phones or their mobile devices to read about your news and announcements. They're not waiting for their desktop or laptop computers to boot up in order to read news from you. A larger portion of adults are reading about you on their mobile device, which is either a 4-inch by 2-inch screen or a 6-inch screen for that matter. That's why less information is more. And don't forget to add your own social links at the bottom of the page. There's a difference between your social media links at the bottom of an announcement, because those are to your pages, whereas the links at the upper left-hand corner of your announcement is to allow people to share the information on their pages. Let's talk about the Groupon offers or the digital coupon offers. And there are many different companies besides Groupon that offers digital coupons. What's nice about digital coupons as it relates to your bowling center or your family recreation center is that you can push these coupons out using both email and social media. You can also encourage sharing with these offers. Another thing that's nice is you can have people collect money right on the spot. And for many of you, if you've ever bought a digital coupon through Groupon or some other digital couponing company, you know that they expect you to pay them on the spot before they share that coupon with you. So whether you've decided to use that coupon or not, they're going to collect some money with you. And what's nice about these offers and deals is that everything gets tracked. You can find out where these coupons were being utilized. You can find out, you collect a first name, last name. You can collect email addresses from these folks who are buying your coupon. And don't forget to add your social media links at the bottom of every single coupon so that people can follow your business pages. Survey and polls. Lots of different survey software companies out there. Constant Contact offers a survey software. So does a company called SurveyMonkey. But this is another piece of material that any good communication tool needs, cycling through its communication process. What's nice about surveys and polls is that you can push them out with email and social media. But keep in mind that a good survey should be no more than 3 questions. Because since a majority of your audience is reading about you on their mobile device, they are not going to want to scroll through a 5-minute survey using their 6-inch screen or their 4-inch by 2-inch screen. They're going to want to read your survey quickly and answer it quickly. Another nice thing is that you can share these surveys on your website, but don't forget to brand a survey or a 1-question poll with your logo. And since this survey and poll is going to be sent digitally through either email or social media, make sure your logo is clickable to your website. And as I mentioned, don't ask too many questions, but really listen to the feedback from your customers or your community as it relates to what it is you have to offer. One thing I didn't mention on surveys is make sure if you're doing a 3-question survey, which I highly recommend, that the very first question is a yes or a no question. Don't make people think deeply about the first question. Make it a yes or a no question so that you haven't lost their attention. Let's talk about event invitations or event updates. For many of you, you have facilities that can be used by not-for-profit organizations for fundraisers or for gala events. And what's nice about event marketing software such as Eventbrite, another software company is Evite, and even Constant Contact has a software called EventSpot. With event marketing software, you can push out event announcements using email and social media, But keep in mind, you need to keep the details about your event simple and easy to understand. What's nice about many of these software companies is they'll create a home page for you as well. And you can make RSVPing easy to find by just a click of the button. And again, with event marketing software, you no longer have to request people to call your office or call your center to RSVP, which leaves a lot of room for error. When you send out a digital event invitation, everything is done online, either on a laptop, an iPad, or even a smartphone. And that way there are less mistakes because you don't have somebody on the phone trying to collect or write down first name, last name, and email address. Since this information was sent out digitally through email or social media, the end recipient is in charge of making sure the data they send you is up to date and accurate. Now, we talked a lot about mobile devices, but to even bring it into perspective a little bit more, out of 6 billion people on the planet, 4.8 billion people own a mobile device right now. To put it a little bit differently, 4.8 billion have a smartphone, but only 4.2 billion own a toothbrush. So in that case, you kind of know where people's priorities are. But one thing that the BPAA wanted you to be aware of is that 58% of adults will read your email from your bowling center or your family recreation center on a mobile device. That means 58% of these folks are going to read what it is that you have to offer first on a 4-inch by 2-inch screen or a 6-inch screen. That's why whatever type of email marketing software you use, you need to make sure that it is short and to the point, because less information is more powerful. People just will not take the time to scroll 6 or 7 times through your message to try to get to the point of what it is you're trying to share with them. And the same goes for social media. When you're posting something that is more than 2 sentences long on social media, you've already lost their attention. In email marketing, if you send text that is more than 45 words, they've completely faded away. And the reason being is that we have a generation of adults that are reading your communications. We have a generation of adults that are reading 4 pieces of material on a 4-inch by 2-inch screen. It's not a lot of real estate, and that means you don't have a lot of time to capture their attention. So the shorter your social media posts, the shorter your text in email marketing, the more powerful an impact you're going to make. Another way of putting this is that when it comes to social media marketing or email marketing, you need to determine what are your goals. For instance, you may be trying to reach new customers, or you may be trying to engage with members, or perhaps you're having a fundraiser, a not-for-profit fundraiser, so you're trying to engage with volunteers. Maybe you need to increase donations for a donation drive. Either way, you have to decide what your general goal is for social media and email marketing. Are you trying to reach new customers, or are you trying to encourage repeat business? These are questions that you need to ask yourself so that you can set more specific, measurable objectives. Objectives are measurable. If your goal is to have a gala fundraiser event at your facility, then what is the dollar amount of donations that organization is attempting to collect? If you have loyal customers, perhaps you're trying to deliver an incentive to 200 VIP customers that are in your database. If you have an upcoming event, you have to decide, well, how many seats do I need to fill? at that event. And keep in mind, your objectives, since they are measurable, if you're trying to fill 50 seats at an event at your center, you may need to reach out to at least 800 customers before you can fill those 50 seats. If you're trying to deliver incentives to 200 VIP customers, you got to make sure that you at least have 200 current email addresses for those customers. If you're trying to drive $1,000 worth of donations to a local not-for-profit charity that is hosting an event at your facility, well, you need to decide for yourself how many donors need to be contacted about that gala event in order for you to even collect $1,000 worth of donations. Again, your goal needs to be broken down into more measurable steps using objectives. And you need to ask yourself, is the objective a good objective? Does that objective achieve your business growth? Is the objective even attainable with your current staff? Do you have enough employees to attain that objective? And how would you even measure it or your progress towards it? So if your goal is to increase customers, is that objective attainable with your current staffing level? And how many customers do you want to increase your business by? Do you have enough parking? Is your parking lot suitable for that many customers? Think about that. And how will you measure the success towards that? Things you need to know. Well, number one, in order for you to use email marketing and social media marketing effectively, you do need to have a means to grow your email list. And if you're using Constant Contact, there are several pieces of free software within Constant Contact that allow you to grow your email list using your website or your email signature. For those of you who have customers that are within that 20 to 30-year-old range, there is a text to join feature in Constant Contact that is free. For instance, here's an example for a company that says, you know, you'll get 20% off your purchase today if you just simply text the word BASH to phone number 22828. What's nice within Constant Contact is they'll always designate what the phone number is, and it really is normally the phone number is 22828, but you get to decide the keyword that your young adults get to text you in order to get that 20% off. I've seen bowling centers where they'll just simply have their city texted to phone number 22828, or their bowling center name or the recreation center name being texted to phone number 22828. The text to join feature is automatically part of Constant Contact. Join your list application for Facebook. Well, the Facebook fan form is within Constant Contact. And since so many of you utilize a Facebook page, when you have this application, this Join My List application, plugged into your Facebook page, you can start collecting first name, last name, and even email address from your Facebook fans. It's free software. It's actually part of your Constant Contact subscription. And since I noticed so many of you are utilizing a Facebook business page for your bowling center or your family recreation center, if you decide to use Constant Contact, you can also use the Join My List app. It plugs right in on your social media pages so that you can start collecting personal information about your fans. And then finally, you may just simply have a paper form that you can have at your cash register or at the front desk that people can sign in order to grow your email list. But either way, you need to start somewhere, even if it's just your current friends your current loyal customers, or even your family members for that matter. Social media marketing and email marketing works well when you are growing your email list and making sure that your current list stays active. Remember, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. And this is one of the important reports out of Constant Contact. Constant Contact will not only give you open rate statistics, but they'll give you click-through statistics. And those click-through statistics, those are your warm leads. Those are your customers that are highly engaged in your news, your offers, your promotions, your surveys, or even your event registrations. That click-through statistic, when you click on those numbers, will tell you exactly who on your email list found your announcement, your survey, your offer, your promotion, or even your event registration highly irresistible. And many family recreation centers and bowling centers will personally call the people who clicked on those links to let them know about future events, future announcements, future offers and incentives and promotions. Another nice thing about Constant Contact, it gives you a couple different ways to view the data. Some of you just like to look at numbers, others like to look at graphs, and there's still a handful of you out there that just want to say, show me the money. I just want to see the money I made by people downloading a coupon or registering for the event and buying the tickets in advance. Either way, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. So again, small business marketing isn't about looking good. That's design. That's logo design, and that's corporate colors. Small business marketing is about you nurturing your current customer relationships. It's about you delivering on promise, and then finally getting measurable results so that you can determine which group of customers are the most loyal, which group of customers are finding your information highly irresistible so that they can refer their friends, family, and colleagues to you. Now, for those of you on the phone, if you're using Constant Contact, you have been given a marketing coach. Someone has been assigned to you. And so when you call the 800 number you were given as part of your Constant Contact relationship, you can call your marketing coach and ask, based upon your geographic location, based upon your product or your service, you can ask them, what is the open rate and click-through rate for my industry or for my product? And they will share that information from you. It's free. It's actually part of your membership with Constant Contact. And one final point, if the customer experience stinks, then none of this marketing will matter. You always have to fix the customer service or the customer experience issues first. Because if people are having a poor experience with your parking lot, if people are having a poor experience with your restaurant or the restrooms or any piece of your facility, then this type of marketing will not matter one bit, because they'll use social media and your email marketing in order to complain about you to their friends, their family, and their colleagues, instead of raving about you and increasing your business with their friends, their family, and colleagues. So with that being said, Kelly, why don't we open it up for questions?
Yes, we've got a couple that have come in here, and let me start with a question about the Facebook polls, a little kind of getting into the weeds, but we can go ahead and ask. It says, Facebook used to let you use polls and surveys internally to the software. Is there any way to do this now, or do you recommend doing it through outside software or through the emails themselves?
Yeah, I recommend that you use an email marketing software on Facebook so that you can actually collect first name and email address from the poll, those people who are engaging with your poll. Because based upon the one question, or if you're posting a survey, the 3 questions, you're going to be able to get some highly important information so that you can design other types of services, programs, meals, around how they answered those questions. So where's your best bet?
Great, great. Okay, and then the next question was, when you speak of the 4 pieces of materials included, do you recommend that all 4 be used, or 1 or 2 pieces of the material?
I recommend that all 4 get used throughout the cycle of your fiscal year. For some of you, you may or may not have any digital coupons to offer. Others may have offers and incentives or promotions that they can use a software like Groupon for. So I recommend that if you break your 12 months apart and decide how many months of the year will you be sharing different pieces of this material, you'll find that your customers are more engaged with you. Instead of constantly sending them a coupon offer or a promotion, try to highlight news, maybe some announcements, something a little bit different. Ask their feedback once in a while, and watch how important it is for you to let your community know that you are really listening.
Great, great. Just a point to hear that you talk about getting that list started, and it's such great advice. Even if you haven't started one yet, well, I got to get a list first before I can do any of this stuff. That's not true. You actually already have access to that list through Customer Connect here through the BPAA. It's a free product to you as a member for the BPAA. It builds in all your members that you have, all your league blowers. You just download them straight into it, and your list is there. Anybody who's got that's allowed the USB-C to say, hey, yes, go ahead and send me information. It's all built right into your Customer Connect. So you automatically get that list downloaded. So there's at least a couple hundred names straight to it, and you can build that straight into your text mix software, or to like Constant Contact, email marketing, and lost my train of thought there a second. And then click-throughs. I'll tell you, for me, click-throughs are huge. Anytime I see those click-throughs, I can tell you, I could attest to that, what she's saying. Following up with those people who click through, at least they have, I know what I've done is I've sent out an email specifically to them. I know who they are. I send them a specific email saying, hey, thank you for your interest, and I'll take the offer one level deeper and say, hey, specifically for you, or something that's out there that's only available to people who clicked in, something that a way of dragging them into the whole process with the whole thing. So I do appreciate everybody staying on. We went a lot longer than we normally do for email for our any kind of our webinars, and we appreciate your time. Whoops, there we go. Just remember, your next session is April the 9th. We are actually going to take a few weeks off here, just with Kim's schedule and our schedule here in the office with all of our travels that we've got going on. Is that the right date? That seems like the wrong date. I'm sorry, that is the wrong date. April the 13th. The 9th isn't even a Wednesday. Yeah. Don't be here on Saturday. I won't be here on Saturday. Wednesday, April the 13th, for week 4 of the Power of Social Media Marketing. We'll finalize this whole nice bow around this whole thing. And again, since you are registered, you will already be registered for the future ones in that aspect. So again, thank you everyone for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you. If you have any further questions, please send them straight to Kim or to me, and we'll get them to Kim, and we'll gladly get those answered. We appreciate your time that you spent with us this afternoon. Have a good day, and good luck with your bowling centers.